The takedowns really worked out for you well, and I was just wondering why you decided to use those so much, and what made you so successful at them, because you just fought Randy Couture. Couture wasn't able to take him down like that, and so what made the difference for you?
Yeah, I did a lot of studying, getting prepared for this fight, and I brought this book called Living the Martial Way, and in the book, it was talking about fighting from your core, and that's just the smartest way to fight. So fighting Brandon Vera, he's such a great striker. It's like, I had to prepare, and I had 2 striking coaches for this fight, so I tried to be as well prepared as possible to strike with him. But when I read about fighting from your core, it really made sense to me. It's like, I've been wrestling since I was 14 years old, and why go out there and have a tie match with someone who might be better than me at it? So I was prepared to strike with him, but I was prepared to fight from my core. And, so I really sharpened up in judo and Greco-Roman wrestling, and I was actually ready to shoot too. And yeah.
Can you talk us through what happened between then and now? How you reacted to that, and did that feed into you tonight? Was it good emotion for you to go in there, or did you have to leave that all aside and get back to where you usually are? What was that?
Well, with Brandon Vera, it's just he was amped up to be the biggest fight, the biggest test of my career, and it pushed me to a point where I was like thinking about him all the time. I was just so in tune with this fight, and he's also one of the first opponents that had a lot of trash talk, and he'd always make comments towards me that I didn't appreciate. So it was a little more personal to win this fight and win it in a devastating fashion. So, just thinking about someone so much and then finally get to be around them for the first time and be so close to them, my adrenaline just got really pumped up, and and if he wanted to be known as a tough guy, I could be a tough guy too. So I don't know, I definitely wish I could apologize for acting out, but everything happens for a reason. I'm glad I got that aggression out so I can actually bang the actor.
Hey, can you talk about the moment in the fight where you caught the up kick? It looked like it rocked you pretty well. You're kind of grabbing the jaw. How much did that affect you, and how much did that affect you mentally? Where you had to put that behind you and snap back into it.
It really didn't hurt. Good thing my tongue was in my mouth and I had that mouthpiece in. It didn't hurt, but it was intentional. The guy's on his back and I'm on my knees and he kicks me in the face. Last time I saw that, I think Anderson Silva did it to someone. But I just had to stay tough and not let anything that faze me or break me and continue to fight.
For John, you were saying before that you had watched Brandon's losses maybe 50 times each, and I know before the fight you couldn't really talk about what you picked out of there, but afterwards, what are some of the things that you might have used tonight or found in there?
I don't get your question, I'm sorry.
You were saying that you'd seen Brandon's fight, his losses 50 times or so. What were some of the things you noticed when watching those that you were able to use tonight?
Oh, well, I watched his fight with Tim Sylvia, and I saw that, guys with longer arms and guys who stayed in that B range, that, not too far, not too close range. His boxing defense isn't the best. So our plan was to, get our punching power up and try to overwhelm him with hand combinations. I also watched the Mauricio Verdun fight, and I saw that he had very bad judo defense. I think Verdun inside leg tripped him twice to take him down. And so I really sharpened up my judo. And, so I took those 2 things and used it. I knew that I would be better in the clinch. I knew that he had very bad boxing defense. He does best when you stand in that range where he can throw those really hard kicks. But if you keep hands in his face, his boxing defense isn't too good.
You were talking about Brandon talking a lot in the months leading up to the fight. How much do you think of that was, gamesmanship, Brandon being Brandon, and how much of it was actually personal?
I don't think it was personal. He's a talker. I was talking to my crew filmers, my Muay Thai coach about him, and he's really knowledgeable guy. As well with Greg, and they were just saying he's a talker, and talkers are going to be talkers. And the whole episode of weigh-ins, it was a good learning experience. And in the future, I'll do talkers better and just focus on what the task is.
This one's for John. Can you talk to us about the combination of your Greco-Roman wrestling and then you mix in improving at your judo? It seems like it could create a real wheelhouse, dangerous spot for fighters in your division, something that they're not used to dealing with. When you put those 2 together.
Yeah, for sure. Since day one, the saying, oh, you know, a nice Greco-Roman throw, but Greco-Roman, the rules of Greco-Roman, you can never use your legs to trick people or anything. It's all about, Greco's all about grabbing whatever lock you're going to grab and figure out a way to manipulate them or use this momentum to land on top. So the moves I'm doing are actually judo moves, they're not really Greco-Roman moves. And I don't have an official judo coach, but I've been like, somewhere I've been logging into like the internet and watching a lot about judo and you know, taking it seriously and trying to pull it off in practice.
This question's also for John. Dana mentioned the one loss you had on your record and how it drives him crazy. Imagine it's the same similar effect on you. You think you'll ever be able to look at that so-called loss as kind of an asset, because the saying is every fighter loses eventually, and you kind of lost without losing almost. Because I was watching the fight, knows you were dominating.
Yeah, you know, it really stinks running into people who are supporters and say, oh man, you know, good fight, man, get him next time. Yeah, I don't want to hear that. You know, I want to hear a good job, man. So even though I didn't get dominated, it, just the reaction that I got, you know, made me feel as if it was a loss. So just made me, you know, work really hard and make sure I know what